Greetings, Guardian Scholars. Welcome to week 7. If you notice, we are pretty much at the halfway mark. After week 8, we'll be having our spring break. So if you've gotten behind, you need to catch up. That's a great week to do it, since I will not be assigning anything between week 8 and week 9 during our spring break. And so going into week 7, we are doing our second week of level 2, choosing your weapons, and our focus this level is on Rhetorical Appeals in Grit by Angela Duckworth. And so we're looking at what tools or weapons or strategies do authors use to convince and persuade their audience to achieve the purpose they have for writing. And so as you really dig into this, you're going to get some new reading tools or reading strategies to become a more critical reader of the things that you're reading, of arguments that you're reading, so you can understand the methods and the strategies that authors are using. And then also you're getting tools that you can use in your own writing to be more persuasive, more convincing in your work. The most important thing to think about first in this week is your book club crew log level 2. Remember that you'll get 2 power-up points if you submit before class. So even though the due date is the 30th, please try to submit before class so that you can be prepared to discuss. And I wanted to remind you that it doesn't matter if you cannot get into that book club crew log. You can submit your stuff any way you want. So it could be if you could just type up or handwrite your summary and upload that file. You can handwrite or type your golden lines, your connections, your discussion questions, and just turn it in any way you need. I was hoping that the collaborative document would work, but I know that some of you are having really a difficult time with that. Or you could send it to your classmates and they could put it in for you, or I could put it in for you. But don't worry about it if you can't get in. Remember that if you're in option A, 3 little words, you're going to be reading through page 137 or the end of chapter 7. If you're in option B, you're finishing Beating the System, because that's one of the shorter memoirs, reading all the way through the end of the book. And then next time you're going to be starting Dead or in Prison. Option C, Etched in Sand, you're going to be reading through page 152 or all the way through the end of chapter 7. So you'll be about at the halfway point of the book at that point. And we're going to go ahead and cancel this. We're not submitting for real. And we're going on Monday to discuss your readings in small groups in the breakout rooms, and then we'll focus on introducing Essay 2. So I will have the guidelines in a collaborative document for us to mark up, and we'll talk about that. And if we have time, we might have a chance to look at some model essays I have from previous semesters. The reflective journal this week is focused on procrastination. So I do have a video. The time for writing, again, you just want to keep about 15 minutes, however much you can write in 15 minutes. Do push yourself to write more. That will help you with the writing sprints, just to extend the amount of writing that you can do in a short amount of time. We have a 91 support activity that is going to go over 2 other types of body paragraphs that we have not yet discussed. In level 1, week 3, we talked about using your thesis as a compass and introductions, body, conclusions. We're going to go back up to that pineapple on pizza idea and talk about background paragraphs and counter-arguing paragraphs. And then I have a quiz, and that quiz is going to cover the background and counter argument, but it's also going to be a review of things that we talked about earlier, because while we talked about thesis statements and topic sentences and introductions and ties and split and claim evidence commentary, it's important to review those things and go over them again. Okay. So that will help you. Of course, I didn't answer any of it. So, all right. I have as a to-do list something that you're not going to turn in, but something I want to make sure that you see. And this is a bunch of different resources that I've compiled for Essay 2, and I think I'll probably repost this in week 7 as well. And so one of them is a handout on logos, pathos, ethos, and kairos. And so when you're writing your essay, you can use the videos and the lecture as a resource, or you can also use this handout and you can quote from the handout in addition to the videos. But I have posted the videos that we did the other week. And so this is going to tell you, you could just look at the one just on logos or just on pathos and review maybe the sections that you are kind of struggling with. And then I made 2 videos in the fall. One was I modeled how to outline Essay 2, and that's important because this week we're going to have our pre-write outline. And then I had another video that I made where I modeled how to write Essay 2 itself. I also have the 2 model essays from previous semesters here as well, so you can take a look at those. So these are resources that are here for you, and you can use them when you need them. So just a reminder that Wednesday, March 31st is Cesar Chavez Day, so it's a holiday and we will not be meeting, and the Writing Center will also be closed on Wednesday. So if you're doing your Writing Center work, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday are good days to do that. This week, it is a makeup extra credit week at the Writing Center, so I do have some suggestions for you. I'm going to skip ahead just to show you. One of the things I suggested was the M15 quotation sandwich DLA, which is a DLA that I created. And there's some really good videos, academic essay evidence and essay writing supporting details that are really great to look at. However, if you missed the essay conference DLA that was worth 20 points in the previous week, if you want to, you could turn it in, and that could help you if you're rewriting Essay 1. I know there are some of you who are still catching up on Essay 1, and so if you have not yet met with an instructor at the Writing Center, please do so. And again, you can just submit it here. So I have moved the deadlines for all the Writing Center to Thursday after hearing feedback from you, so that you don't forget until Saturday to work on that. However, if it comes to me afterwards, if it comes to me by Saturday, I'm not going to count it as late. I just wanted to move that up so the reminder is there earlier. So the big things this week are that book club crew log and then research quest level 2. And this is just like on essay 1 and level 1, the research quest is gathering all the evidence you need to write the essay. So while it's only worth 10 points, it's actually worth more than that because it's really going to set you up for success. And so I do have a copy you can download of the research quest level 2 if you want to just fill it out. I have, again, that Logos, Ethos, Pathos, Kairos handout that you could use for this. And then I have a model that I created where I went through the research quest and I filled it out myself. So you can use it, but please don't do everything exactly, make it your own. Don't just copy this. And so I talked about how I researched at the library and what I found for Duckworth. And so I noticed that I found this article called Grit and the Greater Good, a conversation with Angela Duckworth. And so I looked at who her audience is and then what impact she was hoping to have through her book. And you'll notice I used EasyBib to create a source citation. And then I found definitions of logos, pathos, ethos, and kairos from that handout that I have listed there. And then I started looking for textual evidence from Grit itself about how Duckworth uses logos, how she uses pathos, how she uses ethos, and how she uses kairos. Though, again, I think I've mentioned this, but Duckworth doesn't really discuss Kairos too much in her book. So it may be something that you decide not to talk about in the essay. And this research quest, though, is once you've done it, you have really all the evidence you need to write the essay. So take your time on it. You are absolutely welcome to work in groups on this. So if you want to work together, that can be a way of kind of making the work a little bit easier. So just talk to each other on Pronto maybe about a time to do that. Making a sandwich for Essay 2 is also going to be helping you review the idea of claim evidence commentary sandwiches. And I had a quick 6-minute explanation of CEC sandwiches. I had a longer one that we went over before. And what I did is I picked out a couple of quotations for you related to pathos. And so you could use your own quotations, but I pulled out some pathos quotes for you that you could use. And I want you to use at least 2 of these quotations to create a sandwich, starting with a claim and ending with commentary. And this is something you're directly going to be able to use in your Essay 2 draft, but it'll give me a chance to give you feedback on your quotation sandwiches before your rough draft is even due. So we already talked about the Writing Center. Okay, our other big assignment this week is our Essay 2 pre-write due on Saturday. Again, especially if you're doing anything for Easter weekend, you might want to get this in early, or if you need to ask for an extension, please let me know ahead of time by Friday. And the pre-writing assignment, again, is it could be to outline. I actually am allowing you to do free write, looping, clustering, and so on. But I wanted to point out that you should have spend about 30 to 60 minutes and write at least 1 to 2 pages of pre-writing. And so I have the prompt for Essay 2 here as the second tab. And then I have some different pre-writing models. And then if you keep going down, I have the I said Essay 3 outline template. I need to check that. But this is the Essay 2 outline template that you could use to write the essay. Okay. And moving on, let me go back to the module. Okay. All right. The last 2 things to think about this week are benchmark survey level 2. This is a quick survey so that I can kind of check in with you, see how everybody's doing. And then next week, we're week 8, right before spring break, we're going to do another set of benchmark conferences. So I just wanted to put a link in here to remind you to sign up for a conference at a time that works for you. All right. Have a great week and a good holiday on Wednesday, and I will see you Monday.